Today we're back with things you shouldn't do in RuneScape. You guys seem to love these videos as I've made 2 in the past, and the feedback for both of them was really positive. So in this video we're going to go through things that you should not be doing in RuneScape to see if you are making these mistakes, and if you are, then maybe now you can finally stop. With that being said, I hope you enjoy the video and let's go. So as usual, these are in no particular order, but they should be timestamped for you to go through down below. We're going to start off with something that actually gets talked about on my streams quite a bit, and I think is important to mention. That is going to be Animate Dead and Tank Armor for Magic. Now, of course, this is going to be getting nerfed soon. Animate Dead will be getting nerfed, but it is still going to be really strong, and this is still going to be relevant. So here it is. If you are someone who uses Animate Dead and uses Tank Armor, this is absolutely fine. I take advantage of it as well from time to time, depending where I'm PVMing, and especially if I'm on stream and I just want to read chat. However, when you are using this, especially for learners, don't make this your be-all and end-all of PVM. Don't rely fully on the fact that you can probably tank a lot of mechanics, because if you do this, all you're going to be doing is kind of like chopping off one leg in the future. Probably a bit of a over-the-top example, but what I mean is you're going to be making it harder for yourself in future because you're not learning mechanics. Learning the actual mechanics while using this is going to be a lot easier because you're taking less damage, but you still want to focus on dealing with those mechanics at certain bosses correctly. That way, when you eventually learn the boss, you can either drop the armor unless it's really efficient to still use it, but also it's going to improve your overall PVM skills as well. For example, if you learn one boss, there is likely going to be a mechanic at that boss that will then help you learn another one as well. If you are, however, just face tanking everything at one boss, when you move to another one, you then have to relearn everything all over again. But instead of learning how to deal with mechanic, you're just learning how do I face tank this boss as well. So what I would suggest you do is still use Animate Dead, still use Tank Armor if you are going to use it, but focus on the mechanics as they come to you and deal with them one at a time as well. This also has other benefits as well, because if it is going to improve your PVM skills and make you better at reacting to bosses and actually figuring out, oh, this is how to deal with this sort of mechanic, in future, when you go up against new released bosses, you're going to be in a better position to get early kills on that boss. When new bosses release into the game, you want to fight them very early if you can, because a new release of a boss usually equals insane amounts of GP on release day or release week or just around the release of the boss. So don't use Animate Dead and Tank Armor just to face tank bosses and get through them that way. Do put the time in to learn the bosses as well. You will appreciate it in the future. Next up is not neglecting the small upgrades. Now, this is something that might come across as a little hypocritical for anybody who watches me on stream, which if you haven't caught a live stream yet, make sure you are subbed with notifications on or join the Discord, which is linked in the description, and then you'll get a notification when I do go live. But anyway, there's a few upgrades that I still need to grab for myself, and this applies to me as well as many others listening as well. And I'm going to be doing this very soon. Not neglecting these small upgrades is really important, especially if you have many different small upgrades that you are neglecting. Now, an example of this could be if you are someone who maybe hasn't got the bladed dive upgrade to just get the regular dive ability done. Or maybe you are using a regular adrenaline potion and you haven't quite unlocked adrenaline renewals yet. Or maybe you have unlocked super adrenaline potions and you just haven't got an assist to get those adrenaline renewals yet because you're thinking it's not that big of a deal. Well, when you start adding all of these small differences together, it ends up being a pretty big deal. And believe me, the difference from a regular adrenaline potion to an adrenaline renewal might only seem small, but this is pretty damn big. Mix that along with saving inventory space, with unlocking the dive ability so you can bank one of your weapons, along with maybe getting another perk that you just quite haven't maxed out yet, or getting an archaeology relic that just gives you a little bit more adrenaline when you're using the ability. I'm kind of explaining myself here. I currently have many upgrades that I could completely finish, but I've just been too lazy or been thinking, nah, it's not that big of a deal. But once you add them all together, they make a big difference, and so I will be going ahead and getting these done very soon. But do not neglect these upgrades, guys, because I did this, and you are putting yourself behind a little bit, and it will make a difference once you finally unlock them. So get them done. Hypocritical one and number 3 coming from me on this one is do not put off completing your Reaper tasks. This is another thing that I really need to pick up on and keep doing consistently. However, this is more especially for people who are low levels or people who pay their memberships with bonds. Now, the reason I mention this is because completing your Reaper task gives you a ton of Slayer experience. For lower levels, by the way, you can get your Slayer up really high with never even touching Slayer, as long as you just do your Reapers. And getting the Reaper points to get yourself a Hydrix can pretty much pay for a bond if you do get one of those. Doing your Reaper task every single day and completing that task not only takes you to new bosses and gives you a chance at their drops, but it's also going to give you the Reaper points that gets you the unlocks for the Hydrix or any other unlocks that you may want to get from the Reaper store. But the Hydrix sells for a lot of money, and it is definitely something that you don't want to be missing out on, especially if you're in a position where you need that money for upgrades or for membership or anything like that. But a lot of people don't do these. I don't do Reaper tasks anywhere near as often as I should. I probably get like one every 2 weeks and complete that one like every 2 weeks. It's crazy. It is really, really bad. But again, I'm in a position where it doesn't matter too much because for me right now it's just money. But either way, I should still be doing this because you never know, in the future they release something to the Reaper store that makes it even better and I won't have any points or anything. So do not neglect your Reaper tasks. Even if you are just going to save the points up, get them done, save those points up, and I will be doing this too. And anybody who does catch me on stream not doing Reaper, hold me to this, remind me, because this is definitely important. Do Reaper tasks, guys. It's killing a boss, it's fun, it's probably one of the best dailies in the game. Here's one that a lot of people do, and I hear a hell of a lot, seeing as my content is very much focused around the beginner player PVM or the lower to mid-level PVMer in the game as well, wanting to learn more stuff. And that is, do not be afraid of DPS auras. Now, when I talk about DPS auras, I don't mean Dark Magic, I don't mean Magurite, I mean Maniacal, Reckless, and Berserk aura. These ones are going to increase your damage and your accuracy, but it is going to take a cut at your defense level. You're going to be taking extra damage from activating these. So a lot of people get put off from using them because they think, hey, I go to Kerapac, I already get smacked in the face 20,000 times and die very quickly. If I activate this, I'm just going to die even quicker. So this doesn't make sense. The truth with these auras is you will not take more damage because you will kill the boss quicker. This is something you need to consider. You are going to take more damage per hit, yes, but if you get through that boss 2 minutes quicker, 1 minute quicker, 30 seconds quicker, you are taking less hits than you would have done in the first place, meaning you are overall taking less damage. Now, there is nothing worse than going to a boss and splashing on that boss and missing and missing and missing. Now, a lot of places using Maniacal or Reckless or Berserker are going to make the difference to your accuracy, where you either miss and splash every now and again or never actually miss on the boss ever again. The increase to your accuracy from these auras is absolutely insane, especially at places like Nex. You want to be using these almost every time you PVM. Unless there's specific bosses where you want to use things like Magurite instead, or maybe you just know that you're not going to miss, so you took on Dark Magic so you don't waste a cooldown. These are different cases. But in most situations, you want to be using Maniacal, Berserk, or Reckless because you are going to be getting more damage, and killing the boss quicker means you end up taking less damage, and it's more efficient to get through the thing. But it also makes the fight easier too if you can skip mechanics because you're doing more DPS. Some bosses have DPS checks in them, so dealing with those is a lot easier. There's many different reasons why you would want to use these, and you should definitely take advantage of them. They are an insane upgrade and an insane unlock, and if you haven't got them yet, get them as soon as you can. Do not neglect these, do not be afraid of using them. They are insanely good, and once you start, you're going to want to use them everywhere you PVM. You are going to not want to PVM if you don't have them. It's kind of frustrating, to be honest. The final one that I hear so much on streams and in Discord messages when people DM me and stuff is, hey, I'm kind of afraid of killing this boss because I struggled at this boss. So I've just never tried it. I've never gone to this boss, or I've never done much PVM. I've just been skilling and trying to get every single piece of gear that I possibly can so that I'm absolutely ready for PVM. Why? Guys, especially nowadays, do not be afraid of dying at a boss. And I've said this before and I'm going to say it again because someone in my chat said it a while ago and I was like, holy crap, that makes a lot of sense. If you aren't dying, you aren't trying, right? If you go to a boss, keep in mind, even people who are really good at PVM go to bosses that are brand new and they still die a lot. Now, when I go to bosses and go to new bosses that I've never fought before, I die more than a lot because I'm not insanely good at PVM. But I'm not going to stop going to that boss because I will learn it eventually and I will get better at it and I will make good amount of money and progress from it as well. Now, this kind of goes two ways. You initially want to make sure you do have enough gear for it. But that being said, at the moment, before the Animate Dead nerf right now, any boss in the game can be killed with Ganodermic armor and tier 85 dual wield magic weapons and Animate Dead. You can do this with any single boss. The kills might be dragged out, it might be more difficult, and it might not be recommended, but you can do it. So if you have anything above that, if you have a tier 90 weapon, if you have any gear that is recommended for the boss that you're looking at, give it a go. Do not put it off for too long. Just give it a shot. And if you fail miserably, like you fail so miserably, then maybe you can look at it and go, hey, it actually is because of my gear. I cannot kill this boss yet. Then you don't have to even feel bad about it in the first place. Get your gear and then go and kill it. But do not be afraid to go to bosses yet. At the moment, it is probably like less than 1 mil to die at a boss if you don't take tons of switches. So if you're someone learning a boss and you're scared of dying, don't take tons and tons of switches, obviously. Take less and just go with the basics, kill the boss, see how you do. And if you get halfway through the fight and you're doing fine, then you can probably complete it and you'll probably be okay. So then you can gauge where you are, if you give it a shot or not. And honestly, a lot of people who do this message me back a week or a month later and say, I don't know why I was scared of this boss. It's actually really good. Look, I've got 400 kill count now and I've made 4 billion GP. And I'm like, why did you put it on for so long? Like, what? No, come on, it's just so good. So don't be afraid of trying bosses out. Even if you think you're not good enough at PvM, give it a go. You might lose 500k, so what? If you die and you lose 500k, 1 million GP, message me and I'll give you 500k and 1 million GP. I don't care. Try the boss out, enjoy it, and just gauge where you are and then decide whether to do it or not. Anyway, that brings us to the end of things you should not be doing in RuneScape right now. Now, of course, I could probably make a couple more of these, so if you do really enjoy them, then let me know in the comments and I will do so. And if you can think of any as well, leave them in the comments. And if there's some good ones, I will screenshot yours and put it in when I talk about the actual bit, and I'll put it as an overlay so to give you credit and stuff. So thank you very much. Can I just say before we end the video, thank you channel members and patrons. You guys have supported the channel like for the last couple of months, keeping me full-time so freaking much. Like the reason I'm full-time still is because of you guys. So thank you. Anybody who is interested in supporting the channel but also wants to get something from it, the Patreon does let you get some unique content that is only for patrons. So you can head over there, you can chuck $1 to support the channel and also get access to that backlog of videos. And I will be releasing more videos every couple of weeks there just for patrons. But channel members and patrons, thank you all so much. I really do appreciate it. Your names will be on screen through this outro. But otherwise, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like, sub to the channel if you are new around here, and I'll catch you all in the next one. See you later, guys. Bye.